Okay, so first of all, good morning. Yes, it's team fuck them edges. So if you're anti-black, talk about it. Otherwise, hush. Now, since everyone's coming off of the hype of that Dr. Umar podcast or sit down he did with the three dusty amigos, I don't know who them knackers are, but I'm just gonna call them the Halcyon. I think we need to point out some things that probably have been brought up already, but you only heard me talk about it, so let's go ahead and get into it. Number one, and this is probably going to be my main talking point throughout this video, so just stay with me, okay? When are black women going to finally realize that black men do not see systemic oppression as something that is mutually exchanged amongst the both of us? Systemic issues only affect black men, let these black men tell it. They do not see any type of systemic issues that affect black women, children, trans people, gay people, queer people. They don't see it at all as black men. The only systemic oppression that ever happens is what happens to them, which is also leading to the part where we aren't considered black or human to them. But that's a whole other conversation that y'all ain't ready to have, so we're going to just stick with this right now. So just stay with me. Because even though systemic oppression in the form of mass incarceration, drugs being brought into the community, poor education affects all of the black American community, only black men are allowed to use that as their crutch, an excuse for their individual choices. Everybody else is just our own fault. Black women face racism every day in America, but black women are not allowed to blame racism for our problems. Black men get to blame the white man for why he had to choose to sell drugs, enlist black children to help him sell the drugs, start gangs in the community because the white man wouldn't let him be great. But black women can't even pick a bad partner to be the father of their children without it being solely on her shoulders. Oh, and let me be clear. If it's not the white man, it's us. It's black women stopping black men from being great. Because the reason why he can't find a good partner isn't because he individually picked a bad woman. It's because of feminism. But when black women don't end up with good partners, she's the one that picked Pookie and Ray Ray. Like, make it make sense. Now, in that little Umar skit where he was sitting there just regurgitating what black women have been saying for the longest time, that there shouldn't be Pookies and Ray Rays to choose from in the first place, because if y'all are kangs and leaders like that, then y'all should all be of some quality to where there wouldn't be a problem picking a random black man out of a lineup, because we should be stumbling upon all these good ones that you say are in the community. The same community that you say has been tarnished and jacked up by white supremacy, which has given black men no choice but to be bad people. But, But per usual, anytime black men are being held accountable for their individual actions, it's got to be somebody else's fault. So the three wise men that Umar was talking to, right, sat there and basically tried to, dismiss what he was saying as still being the fact that everyone has choices. So when y'all chose to sell drugs to your community, when you chose to take out each other, that wasn't your own doing. That was white supremacy. But when black women chose a partner, assuming that he would be a good one, and then finding out the hard way that he was not, that's on her. And black women, y'all are still letting them do this. Why? Why? Like, these ninjas were so stupid. They were out here trying to state facts that didn't make sense with each other. One minute they were saying black women date outside of the black community more than black men, which isn't true. Then they tried to say that more black men are married to black women than any other group of people, which, yeah, is true. But then you're also making that point off the fact that not every black man is even married in the first place. Like, more than half of black men are not married and have never been. So out of that 50 or 49%, you're saying 80% of them are with black women. Yeah, I guess. Only to turn around and say that black women are the most single mothers, yet somehow black men are the most involved fathers, and y'all are married to us more than any other group of men. Which is it? Because it can't be all three. You can't be the most involved fathers and somehow black women are raising the most black children on their own. You can't be the most married to black women, yet somehow we are the most single mothers. Like, pick one to complain about. But the real funny thing to me is how many black women co-sign to this shit, because why do y'all get hyped for Umar saying stuff that black women have been saying this entire time? Like, it's giving male identify, because there are plenty of black women that already blame black men for the problems in the black community, but when we do it, y'all tell us that we're being coons, we are not being fair to black men, we're being anti-black, but when a black man regurgitates the very same talking points, suddenly y'all going up, and that man's with a light-skinned girl anyway that could pass for white. Okay. Oh yeah, and this is just a side note, y'all equating anti-blackness strictly to women that hold black men accountable really reflects who you consider to be black and the most important black person in the community. And I'm gonna need y'all to work on that, because it's embarrassing. Because just as easily as you can assume that I'm anti-black because I'm saying that black men have to do things better in this community, I could argue that my advocating for black women, queer people, children, and the trans community safety over black men's shows that I care far more about the bulk of the black community than the rest of y'all. But anyway, at the end of the day, most of these black men in this country, especially the ones that were born and raised in America, do not care about power. They want pussy. They want pussy. Okay? They do not care about power because comfort is easier for them to obtain. They are not going to fight the powers that be. They are not going to really create infrastructure that would put the black community in a safer, more stable position in America. And that's blatantly obvious based on all of the issues that we are dealing with to this day. I mean, these are the same men that got their right to vote before white women, and all they did with it is advocate for access to the white women. These are the same men that told y'all that being with white women, specifically black men laying with white women, was an act of rebellion and reparations. That's what they wanted to compensate for 400 years of oppression. White punani. Not equality, not humanity, not dignity, not their 40 acres and a mule. They just wanted to lay down with white women. And y'all are still letting them as black men get in y'all faces as black women, telling y'all that you're the problem in the community. I guess, child. I guess.